Right, UFC 304 in a nutshell. I'll flick through some of the early highlights. Manel Kape versus Makayev. Well, Makayev is a dirty fighter, isn't he? Dirtier than Aspinall's thoughts around Nina Drama. Trying to get a cheap shot in any time Manel Kape had to stop for like a legitimate reason. Manel fought most of the fight, particularly his second round, with one eye and 1 foot. Like a really small, aggressive pirate. But let's face it, after all of that beef, it was a bit of a letdown, wasn't it? Either guy could have won, and there weren't really much action. Molly McCann versus Bruna Brazil. That one was actually a pretty good fight. Brazil completely outclassed Molly in the first round, getting Molly so hurt to the body by the end of the first round, she almost couldn't continue. Brazil then proceeds to not throw a single fucking shot to her body the rest of the fight. Mind-blowing. I find Molly McCann quite annoying. I usually root for her to lose. But her toughness and resilience that she showed in this fight was incredible. And you've got to give her tons of respect for that. Arnold Allen versus Giga Chikadze. Brilliant fight. Really interesting to watch Allen struggle with Giga in the beginning, but then work it out in the second and then dominate in the third. And you got to love him wishing his nana happy birthday in the post-fight interview. Great guy, good win, onwards and upwards. Paddy Pimblett versus King Bobby. Paddy looked massive in there, like 2 weight classes higher. He also looked great on the feet. Not too much happened, and then Bobby lost his mind, possibly out of frustration, and tried to take Paddy down with a double leg. Followed by great work from Paddy on the floor, finished with a triangle. We won't count the armbar because he was out at that point. And you could tell that the fan support after meant a lot to Paddy after all the hate over the last year. I mean, obviously, I'm going to keep taking the piss out of him in the future, but it was good to see him get in the rankings. We should get some really interesting matchups for him in the near future. Paddy versus Renato or Benoit would be awesome. And then Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blades. Fuck me, I was tense at the beginning of this one. I think the last time I had heart palpitations like that was probably Volk versus Islam 2. And that didn't go very well, did it? It suddenly dawned on me that if Aspinall gets caught, it's all over. All of the fun and games, watching John Jones panicking and running away. One solid punch at the right time from Curtis. And that's it. Just imagine how obnoxious John Jones would have been. It would have been truly terrible. But panic over. Tom goes in there, doesn't let us down, and he does what he does. Very short and very exciting fight. And he gets the win. Followed by a great post-fight interview with DC. You could tell that DC was loving the John Jones call-out. Tom said he's got absolutely nothing personal against John Jones. He just thinks that he can beat him in a fight. And I was thinking about it, it's the exact opposite for me. I hate everything about him as a person, but he'd crush me like he does them little LA twinks. But so happy that Tom got it, and the fun continues. And then we had Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. Well. That's not what I expected to happen. Now, I will say, it does seem like, in the lead-up and going in there, Leon completely underestimated Bilal. But that's not to take anything away from Bilal. He went in there to win, and he was the best we've ever seen him. Leon was surprised, and you could tell he couldn't catch up with the reality of how the fight was actually going. He looked asleep half the time. I think he was in shock. It could have been the time that the fight was. It could have been the home pressure. It could have been having to fight someone that he wasn't interested in fighting. Or it could be that Bilal had made a ton of improvements since their last fight, and he went in there and he was better than him. Everyone thought it was hilarious that Bilal was dreaming of a decision win, and he threatened Leon with a decision. And yes, I'll admit it, it's a bit weird. But in fairness, he did go in there and get a pretty fucking dominant decision. Dana's face when they went to put the belt on him was priceless. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch it. And when Bilal was talking to DC, at first, I thought Bilal's Uber driver had turned up early. But I'm pretty sure that was his dad. I'm so glad he made such an effort. But then Bilal starts giving his victory speech after winning the UFC championship, and his dad is so bored, he starts texting his mate to see what's going on. I couldn't believe it. If there was ever a boring Bilal meme moment, that was it. And I've looked around on social media, and I don't think anyone else has caught on to it. Anyway, Dana was fucking well angry in the post-fight press conference. Proper grumbles. He was angry that a fight between 2 boring fighters ended up being boring. He was angry because everyone thinks Tom Aspinall beats John Jones. He was angry because of Canelo. Old Double D weren't having a great day, but I thought it was a pretty good card throughout. I know everyone likes to moan about everything, but I just think we're so lucky to be able to watch this shit all the time. It's awesome. If you like this video, give us a sub, check out this playlist of recent bangers. I'll see you next time.